Hello and welcome to episode 15 of the Outlifting Lounge.
This is the show all about pride, fitness, and everything in between. I'm Alan.
And I'm Derek. In today's show, we're going to be chatting about Drag Race UK versus the world. We will cover some really positive LGBT news and we'll be talking about DOMS.
Oh, kinky.
Other kind of DOMS. Let's get the show started. So Alan, how has your week been?
My week has been good. My knee is almost 100% better, which is brilliant. I've managed 4 workouts this week, which has been really good because I didn't think I was going to get to the gym this week. I also finished my 3rd book of the month, so happy about that. And I'm just about to start reading Followers, which is Darren Pickersgill's first book. And his 3rd book is actually out tomorrow. It's coming out a day early, called Open. So once I finish Followers, I'll then move on to that one. And also, I was stuck in traffic for about 2.5 hours the other day, which is it's quite unusual for Well, it's not really that unusual for Gran Canaria, but when there's an accident on the motorway, you're basically. So I had to take a detour up through Tailday, which was quite pretty. Haven't been up that way before, so it was quite nice driving through different towns and seeing the scenery. But by the end of it, I was done in. How's your week been?
My tennis elbow is just getting worse and worse. And yeah, I can't really train with it. It's sore. I can barely even open a bottle the way it is at the minute. Resting, it doesn't really seem to be helping, so I don't know. I'm just getting fed up with it. I'm a bit scunnered.
Might be time to go and see a physio.
It might be.
This is what we would tell our clients.
Yeah, I think the time's probably passed, so let's deal with that. But yeah, apart from that, just getting on with things. The weather's starting to brighten up. It's starting to get a lot warmer here. It's starting to feel like summerish, so that's good as well.
Yeah, that's good. Shall we chat about Drag Race UK versus the world?
Absolutely. It was launched this week, and I have to say the first episode was phenomenal, really, really good. 10s across the board and all that. So I'm really looking forward to this series. I think it'll be good.
The entrance episode is always my favourite because I like to judge them on their entrance looks and who they are. Obviously, we know some of these queens because it's like an all-stars essentially, isn't it? Even at that, though, I was still like, who's that? Who's that? You're very good at remembering who people are in these types of programmes, and I'm just like, not a clue who these people are.
So this season is a bit different than the other ones have been because I think when UK versus the world started out, it basically felt a bit like the UK versus the English-speaking world. So it was like queens from America and Canada. Whereas this time around, there's a really good international selection. We've got somebody from Drag Race Sweden, Drag Race Philippines, Drag Race Thailand, Germany, Mexico, and we have not watched all of those. We watched Mexico, but we've not watched Germany, Sweden, or the main Philippines or the Thailand seasons. So these are new queens for us. It's quite good.
Who's your favourite?
I've got a few.
No, one. Favourite, not favourites.
I've got people that are favourites for different reasons. So Kate Butch, I think, is just so funny, and she's coming into it with a really clear point of view and an elevated version of herself. So I thought it was a really strong episode for her. I thought she was going to be in the top 2, but I can understand why they didn't, because they wanted a big, spectacular first episode and they wanted 2 really fierce dancers and that lip sync at the end, and that's why they did it.
What, you're telling me that it's produced?
But my other 2 favourites were Godland and Fontana, who ended up in the top 2. Godland is just crazy in all the best possible ways.
See the way RuPaul describes like wackadoodle? They're my favourite kind of queens. Totally offbeat, like I mean, looks amazing, like stunning queen, but it's just totally out there. A bit like kind of Jimbo, you know?
Yeah.
That kind of like just not quite what people perceive drag queens should be. So yeah.
I think Godland is like the epitome of wackadoodle queen. Just crazy, like absolutely bonkers. My favourite look from that episode, and possibly one of my favourite looks of all time in Drag Race, was her runway look, her Queen of My Hometown look. It was like the big prawn dish, and she had the thing in her head, the headpiece, and it was all bedazzled. It was just such...
She had a pincher as well.
Oh, that pincer was so good. So good. Yeah, so I'm hoping we see very good things from her. I think she'll go far.
And I think as well, because we watch Slation Royale, like, she is that kind of level of the queens that were on there as well. We were totally blown away by that.
Yes, a high caliber queen indeed.
And another high caliber queen, I would say, is Minty Drop. Another one that I didn't really remember from her season from UK. What season was that? You'll know because you know them all.
I want to say season 4.
She took her, you know how they always have their exit lines, and hers was quite funny on her season, but she took that for this season and then kind of elevated it and kind of ran with it. The same way, you know, Miss Benji was a whole thing for her. Like her slow twerk was a whole thing for her when she left her season. So this episode here was really good. She owned it, which was brilliant.
Yeah, no, I agree. And her runway look as well was out of this world. It was so good. So, albeit there were no swans harmed in the making of that dress, but it was so spectacular.
Yeah. Really simple, but just like hit the mark.
Fashion Week worthy. It was so phenomenal. She has come back really elevated as well to hit it. The only British queen that's come back, so there's 3 of them, that I'm not really rating so far is Sahara. I just think she's a bit like a Big Ben look on the runway was wah wah.
Basic Ben.
Yeah, it's a bit more Big Ben than Big Ben. Yeah, her Big Ben look was a bit crap, and I thought it was a bit delulu of her when she went back into the Untucked Lounge to say, "Oh, I thought I was going to be in the top." It's like, you weren't really that good. So I don't think she'll be in very long. She seems a really nice person, though. I feel awful trashing her like a Michelle Visage or something. But yeah,
Yeah, it's fine. Are you happy there's another season of Drag Race?
yes, always love more Drag Race in my life, especially when it's like an all stars / versus the world.
Yeah. And then we'll have the Down Under one coming soon that reportedly Michael Murley's on.
Yes, we're very excited about that. Fontana as well, phenomenal. I was not aware of Fontana's work and presence before this, but she's so good. Like every single look hit that entrance look with the wings, incredible. The runway look, the dancing queen look, so good. Like the attention to details, brilliant.
Yeah, she's brilliant. So she's Brazilian, but she competed on the Swedish franchise.
Yeah, and some trivia as well. So she is the first queen ever to lip sync a performer's song while that performer was a guest judge on 2 different franchises. So the same thing happened in Sweden. Loreen was a guest judge and she lip synced to a Loreen song in front of Loreen and then did it this week on UK versus the World as well in front of Loreen. So yeah, there you go.
And she wasn't in the bottom, it was a lip sync for the win.
Yes.
We should have maybe said spoilers, by the way, at the start of this. I think people know now if we're going to speak about something, there's going to be spoilers.
Yeah. If we've just spoiled it on you, sorry, not sorry.
Sorry,
it's
not
fine.
sorry.
What are you still listening for?
That's a good way of saying it. Right?
Yeah. Before we wrap up the UK versus the world chat, I just want to touch on Melinda Verga. I think she is going to be the drama. She was so dramatic in Canada on her original season. So maybe watch out for her.
The thing is about her season on Canada's Drag Race was I think she was just wanting the airtime and she got it because she had an absolute meltdown during an Untucked. But she seems okay. Well, there's only been 1 episode. She seems okay so far, but there might be some drama from her.
You've done that a few times. I've had to edit it out where you've just had a big strop during the recording of this.
And it's usually you that pisses me off.
Screaming. No, I'm joking. It's all harmonious.
I'm not joking.
Right, shall we move on?
Yeah, let's do some LGBTQ plus positive news.
So this week, the Council of Europe, which is a body consisting of, I think there's like 46 different countries involved in that. It's not all EU countries, obviously, but so the UK is a member, Turkey is a member, things like that, and all of the EU member states as well. So they passed a resolution this week, and it's really super positive because the resolution is calling for the end of conversion therapy practices, and the resolution is also trans inclusive. So the reason that this is so important is because we've seen backlash in the UK, for instance, from these so-called gender critical activists. We're talking about really horrible transphobes here, and that's the way they choose to brand themselves as gender critical. I will not call them that. I'll just call them transphobes because that's what they are. So the transphobes have been trying to stop the conversion therapy ban, they want trans people excluded from it because they think that trans people should be allowed to go through counseling, as they call it, quote unquote. Really, conversion therapy is a form of torture and it should never be allowed. We hear really, really shocking accounts, literally, because sometimes people have gone through electric shock treatment and other things, is a form of abuse and it should be banned in all its forms.
And it passed with a huge majority as well, 71 for, 26 against, and 2 abstained, which is amazing.
Yes, that's really positive. And although it's not a legally binding vote in that it doesn't require member states to now go ahead and pass these bans, does provide guidance to member states as well about the direction of travel that they should be taking. And really, I'm looking at the UK for this because there has been a trans-inclusive ban promised for a long time, and it has now been held up because of the anti-trans moral panic that just really gets me so angry that's happening in the UK under the guise of women's rights, when it's nothing of the sort. It's just unbridled transphobia masked. It's the same hatred and bigotry that we saw in the 1980s and the 1990s against gay people. So yeah, the UK government really needs to get its act together. It was actually, incidentally, a UK Labour politician, Kate Osborne, who is brilliant. She is lesbian and she's really super trans inclusive. She's fighting for all of our rights. So she brought this resolution forward to the Council of Europe. More power to her, but there need to be more people in her party, and particularly the ones sitting on the front bench, who are now going to deliver on this and make it happen.
As the viewers will probably tell, we're quite passionate about this. And like props to Kate as well, someone that's actually part of the community that's on our side, unlike some other people who will not be mentioned because they are part of that TERF community, shall we say.
Yes, they are people who history will forget.
Yes.
Or they will be remembered the same way that Anita Bryant is remembered, by having a cream pie on her face. That's the only thing she's now remembered for: hatred and a cream pie on her face. And that's the way these dinosaurs will be forgotten as well. But we will get through this. We will persevere because that's what we do. We have always existed. We will always exist. And you cannot legislate us out of existence. You cannot oppress us out of existence. So, yeah.
And that so-called gender critical group, Sex Matters, were lobbying to have it rejected. So it's a 1-0 to us, I would say.
Well, more than 1-0. Sex Matters have had an atrocious week, like a really, really bad week. It's just been loss after loss after loss. They keep getting rejected. They are not supported.
I'm going to throw in a wee Glasgow phrase here. Get it up, you.
Get it right up them. Get it right up them. Honestly, it couldn't happen to better people because they are the worst. They are a rabid anti-LGBT hate group that masquerade as a women's rights charity. And they're nothing of the sort, nothing of the sort at all. And the other big loss that they had this week was in the High Court because they brought forward a case and the judge threw it out and said, no, it's not happening.
Get it up, you.
Get it up here, indeed. This all relates to the Kenwood Ladies Bathing Pond on Hampstead Heath. So this has been rolling on for years. That pond is inclusive. It's ladies only and it's trans inclusive. Again, the Transphobe Brigade don't like this, even though the Kenwood Ladies Bathing Pond Association had a vote on this a couple of years ago, and they voted. There was a motion brought forward to exclude trans people, and by a massive majority, they said, no, we want to remain inclusive. The transphobes didn't like that. Sex Matters didn't like that. So they say, no, we're going to take you to court to force you to do something against your will. Like, they're protecting women by forcing women to submit to their will. It's just bizarre.
Talk about being a little bit misogynist.
I know, they are. They really are. It's so patriarchal. It's so misogynist the way these transphobes and TERFs operate.
Yeah.
It is the worst. But they're basically trying to force this. So they brought it to the High Courts, and the High Court judge said, this is nothing to do with the High Court. Off you go. And he also admonished them because the City of London Corporation, who has overall responsibility for this, is currently carrying out a consultation, or was. And the judge said, well, basically, you shouldn't really be bringing forward a case. You should let that process play out. That is the statutory process. So they got a double slap down from the judge, which is good.
Please tell me that they have to pay for all the court fees and stuff like that as well.
Well,
They're probably bankrolled by you know who.
they're
That's the
bankrolled
problem.
by the dragon lady who's sitting on a mountain of kids' pocket money,
Yeah.
as Frankie Boyle once described it. Yeah, she's basically just using this vast fortune while she sits on the deck of her super yacht, wherever she is in the world.
I hope she chokes on her cigar.
Wow. Yeah, they're bankrolled by somebody with very deep pockets, and they will continue to bring these cases forward. But do you know what? They're actually losing case after case after case. And they tried to overhype the Supreme Court verdict, and they basically they marched all of their followers and all these froth-mouthed bigots up the top of a hill, and they don't know where to take them now because they've led them to believe that the Supreme Court victory in inverted commas was something that it wasn't, and it doesn't mean what they say it means. Like, for instance, this week the head of the Charity Commission came out and said charities should not be excluding transgender people right now because the statutory guidance is still being worked on. The government are not happy with what the EHRC brought forward because, again, that is an organisation which was infiltrated by the Transphobe Brigade. There were appointments made to that, and it is not a neutral institution anymore. It's just riddled with transphobia. And the Charity Commission has basically said we need to wait for that process to end, so you shouldn't. So basically what that means is the Girl Scouts shouldn't have changed their guidance, that the Women's Institute shouldn't have changed their policies yet. So hopefully we'll see some of that change now until that guidance is published.
The City of London Corporation actually published the results of the 2-month consultation.
On the same day as the High Court judge threw it out, yeah.
Over 38,000 people took part in it, and 86% agreed that it should still be trans inclusive. So if that's not like power for the people by the people, I don't know what is.
I mean, if you look at the UK newspapers, it's broadly transphobic, and they would have you believe that the UK population is transphobic, but it's not. They're not against us. They're with the LGBT community. Most people can see through the hate and the division that's being caused by really dark forces at work. They will be defeated. They will be yesterday's news. We will get through this. It's just horrible what's happening to trans people specifically at the moment.
Yeah. As long as we keep on shouting about it and supporting it, then hopefully, they'll all disappear under a rock where they should be.
And look, we're talking about this. This is good news this week. There's so much focus has been on the bad news and the things that are happening. It feels like we are being oppressed and attacked from all angles. But look what's happening. We're beating them. They are losing. And although they just keep coming and coming with this endless stream of money and lawfare and vexatious court cases, they're not winning. They are losing, and they will lose. They'll continue to lose, and they'll be done with.
And that's the tea.
And that's the tea. Bye, turfs. Right. I think we have ranted enough about horrible, bigoted, monstrous people. Shall we move on to the fitness section?
Let's do it. Okay, so we've reached the fitness section of the show, and this week we've got a Reddit post that we found, which was really, really interesting, and it's about DOMS, so it's delayed onset muscle soreness. So most of you probably know what this is. If you don't, it's basically the aches that you get after a workout, usually 24, 72 hours afterwards, that could maybe last the same amount of time. You know that feeling when you've had a workout and then you sit in the toilet and then you can't get back up again, so you just decide, okay, this is where I'm sitting for the day. That's DOMS, so we're going to have a wee chat about that.
Yes, this post is really good. The reason that we wanted to include this today is because this is something that is a common misconception with people going to the gym, especially kind of beginners or intermediate gym users. So the title of this post is, "If I'm not getting sore, do I need to lift heavier?" So this person says that they lift 4 times a week. They have been off and on for around 3.5 years with the gym, with occasional lapses. They've noticed that they no longer really get DOMS on the days after a heavy lift unless they've tried a new exercise that challenges their muscles in a radically different way than they usually do. They go on to explain that they eat sufficient protein, they take creatine, they get sufficient sleep, and they discuss their lifestyle. But the basic question that they are asking is if the absence of muscle soreness is a sign that they're not progressively overloading enough. Is it a sign that they need to lift even more?
The answer is no. Yeah, they describe it quite well. Actually, when they get DOMS, it's usually when they haven't been to the gym for a little while or they've tried a new exercise. And that's basically what is happening. Your muscles are under a stress that it's not used to. So your muscle ends up having microscopic tears. And then when they start to heal, that's when you get the soreness. So it's good because you're putting your muscle under stress because we want it to grow, but you don't want that consistently. That is not a good thing to have in your body. If you're chasing that all the time, stop doing it. It's just that you're not getting it because your muscles are used to the exercise that you're doing. But as long as you're progressively overloading, so increasing the weight, increasing sets, increasing reps, reducing your rest time, you're still going to be progressing. You don't need to have that pain, those DOMs, for you to be progressing, basically.
Yeah, totally. And there were some really good comments on this as well. So some people replied, here's one, for instance, to say, you should not, in capital letters, be getting sore regularly. Some stiffness here and there is fine. That's what she said. But you shouldn't be having DOMs all the time for sure. Another one said, if you're getting stronger and truly approaching failure during your exercises, you're fine. Soreness isn't universal. People experience it differently. Really good. Another one, I have been actively and religiously lifting weights since the late 90s. The only time I get sore is after I take a week off. And one last one, lack of soreness correlates with consistent training.
Gold, absolute gold. Because if you're not getting DOMs, it means you haven't had that lapse in time, like that previous comment said, maybe had a week off. If you're consistently training, you're consistently moving your body. It's used to what you're doing, which is brilliant. So yeah, that's absolute gold. And I understand why people chase DOMs because they correlate that soreness to them working hard. But if you just continue to progress, like we said earlier with those variables, that's you working hard. You don't need to be chasing that pain all the time or at all, actually. You shouldn't be chasing it at all. That's the T.
Yeah. It's the same thing. I mean, people also make that correlation with sweat. They think that they need to be absolutely drenched in sweat, otherwise they're not going to burn fat or they're not going, and that's not how it works.
Uh-huh.
But I think sometimes people need that physical feedback, the sweat or the soreness, and they expect it. So yeah, like I understand why, but if you are tuning in and that is you, you want the muscle soreness, you think you need to have it, or if you don't have it, then you're not progressing, then it's your mindset that needs to change.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Totally.
that was a good Reddit post. Good find.
Good little tips, eh?
Mm-hmm.
So, shall we wrap up the fitness section? Have you anything else to say about DOMs or subs?
No, that's a different kind of show.
Yeah. Right. Let's wrap her up. As ever, thank you for tuning in to the Outlifting Lounge. We have one quick favor to ask you. If you are tuning in on an audio podcast platform, please take a few seconds out to leave us a review. You don't even need to write anything, although you can if you want. Even just leaving a 5-star review really helps us to get the show to reach more followers and hopefully get more subscribers, more listeners, and help us reach a broader section of the community to help them with their fitness. So please, if you can, do that now.
Also, we're still loving all the feedback that you're giving us, so keep that coming. We love getting your comments and hearing what you think about the show. And if you think someone else would enjoy it, why don't you share it with them as well?
And if you do want to get in touch and give us some feedback, you can drop us an email. The address is podcast@outlift.ing. You can also follow us on social media. We are on Instagram and TikTok. The handle is the same for both. It's @outlift.ing.
Don't forget, we have new episodes every Sunday, and if you haven't subscribed, why not? Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on the conversation. And don't forget, you can find us on all streaming platforms, including YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Amazon Music.
But that's us for another week. Until next time, over and outlifting.